Alright, I don't know if you can feel it in the air, but apparently it's Kirk Cousins derangement syndrome season again. Um, Not that that season ever fucking ends in this town, but I don't really know what was going on, been going on today, but all over the fucking internet today, everywhere you go, there's a lot of just Kirk bashing again. Obviously, some of it courtesy of the failed radio station or former radio station in town. Um, but it's back. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just we're what about 2.5 weeks, I think, out from training camp starting. Kind of a dead zone in the sports calendar, I guess. All-Star week in baseball, Olympics coming up. NBA finals just about wrapping up. NHL's done. Maybe it's just a dead zone in the sports calendar. People are bored and they want to go back to their favorite topic, their Kirk Cousins hatred and the Kirk Cousins derangement syndrome. And I don't know. I gotta create like a fucking playlist of all my Kirk Cousins videos because I've probably talked about Kirk Cousins more, certainly more than any other individual, and the insane hate that this guy gets in this town from the media and fans and so-called fans. Every time we talk about the Kirk Cousins derangement syndrome, fans comes with quotation marks because these people are not fucking fans. And there's probably going to start to become a lot of Vikings news soon. So there's going to be a lot of Vikings talk. This is like the calm before the storm. It's what, a month from, what would that be, Wednesday? So a month from 2 days from now is the preseason game. I'll be back at the Purple Palace. Just a preseason game, but man, it's gonna feel good to get back there. And obviously, I'll be getting out to camp myself one of those days for watch some practices and everything. But it should be an exciting time for Vikings fans. But it's like, I think they got a nice team. I think they got a tough schedule this year, but they got a really good fucking team. I think there's, if you want to say that Zimmer and Spielman are on the hot seat, fine. But that just means they're extra motivated. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, even though I don't think either one should be on the hot seat, but that's just the way it kind of works. I don't think Kirk should be on the hot seat either, but, you know how it's going to go. Because if you see it all the time, the hatred that Kirk Cousins gets in this town. It's the same shit. It's the Kirk Cousins derangement syndrome all the time. It's the cherry picking of stats to suit a narrative. It's just flat out lying. It's just out of nowhere. Motivated by nothing. Kirk Cousins has not played a football game in 7 months or whatever, 6 months. But these people can't let it go. They can't stop. They cannot stop. That's why it is a sickness. It's a syndrome. They can't stop. It doesn't matter what. It can be this is about the most dead time of year for the NFL. But then we still get tons of Kirk Cousins hate in the middle of a random day in July. It's like it's broken record time. I've said all this stuff so many times, and I'm sure I'll say it again because it just doesn't stop. He's a damn good quarterback. He's not overpaid. He can win a Super Bowl. It doesn't mean that he will. It's a team game. Although the KCDS people will not admit that it is a team game. I mean, I've seen so many fucking people say, "Oh, Kirk Cousins was 7-9 last year." Yeah. Kirk Cousins. If you believe Kirk Cousins was the reason they were 7-9 last year, go jump in a fucking volcano. You are worthless trash. If they didn't have Kirk Cousins last year, they win 2 games. And Kirk is primed to have, you know, look, it's all set up for him this year. Now that doesn't mean that they're going to win a Super Bowl, because it takes a lot more than that. Kirk Cousins could have, I mean, he's already had the best seasons of his career here, but he could have the best yet this year, and they still might not win a Super Bowl, because that's just not how it works. People won't admit that. The Kirk haters will not admit that. But it's you can just see it. You see how this is going to go. It's going to be a whole season of media in this town and so-called fans rooting for the failure of Kirk Cousins and rooting for the failure of the Vikings, so that they can be right. And that's Kirk Cousins derangement syndrome. It turns people who, at least in theory, would actually root for the Vikings, it makes them root against the Vikings, because their Kirk hate outweighs everything else. Someone could say they're a Vikings fan for decades, but no, they're rooting against them now because of Kirk Cousins, because they just hate him. They bought into all the bullshit narratives. They've bought into all the cherry-picked stats, and you can't dissuade them. I'm not trying to dissuade people. I've long since given up trying to dissuade people or bring people to my sensible, logical way of thinking, because you can't. These people, it's been going on for 3+ years, man, and it's not going to fucking stop. It doesn't matter how many games the Vikings win this coming season. They could win 14, 15 games, or they could win 7 or 8 games, and it's not going to make a lick of difference. These people are going to just say the same shit no matter what. They could lose. They could have, so let's say the defense just nothing that they've done to improve the defense works, and the defense is shit again, and they're losing every game, 45-42. It's all going to be Kirk's fault, because this is just how it is with these people. You can't reason with them. You can't bring them into thinking logically. You can't change any opinions. You can't change any minds. It doesn't happen. And it's like, it's never going to stop. It's never going to stop. Because if the Kirk Cousins derangement syndrome crowd can pop up at the dead zone of the NFL calendar and still, go off on Kirk bashing, then, I swear, it's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be unbelievable. Like, the Vikings are not going undefeated. I mean, I think they're going to be very good. I think Rodgers or no Rodgers, I think they have a damn good shot at winning the North and making a run in the playoffs. But it ain't gonna matter, because if they lose one game, let's say they have a tough schedule. Let's say they lose one of the first couple road games. It's gonna be Kirk's got to go. It's time to move on from Kirk right now, and we have to play Kellen Mond, which is of course insane. But if you're gonna hear it, you know damn well you're gonna fucking hear this shit. And it's not gonna be based in any sort of logic. It's not gonna be based in any sort of facts, anything. It's just gonna be reactionary bullshit. there are still people to this day who think that Kirk Cousins is the reason they lost that Saints game last year when they had the 50 burger dropped on them. But you can't reason with people who believe this shit. And it's all gonna come back. It's like I'm looking forward to this season. I'm very excited about this season, but I'm also just there's that part of me that is just dreading having to deal with these people again. Because this fan base, and it's fans and media when it comes to Kirk bashing. There's certainly there's media who maybe they're trolling, maybe they mean it, but then there's fans who buy into it, and then it just becomes their whole thing too. And it's just gonna be all this shit from these people again. It's gotten so bad. This fan base has gotten so stupid in recent years. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just, you know, it's like they get on such a high from the Minneapolis Miracle, and then 38-7 happens, and it's like it fried their brain or something. I guarantee there are Vikings fans who think Kirk Cousins lost the Eagles championship game. They're so stupid. They probably think that. But I don't know. Maybe just that range of emotions just fried their brains as fans, and it's like it's made them hate the team and hate everyone with the team. You know. Obviously, like, the hatred of Zimmer and Spielman is a whole other thing. But I don't get it, man. I've said this probably in every Kirk video I've ever done. I don't get it. Why do we have to be this way? We have a damn good quarterback. And I don't give a fuck about rankings. That was one of the things I saw today, was that Dan Orlovsky put out his official quarterback rankings. Like, who gives a shit? And, like, he didn't even list Kirk Cousins. Okay, Dan. Why don't you go run out the back of the end zone again to run away from Jared Allen? Why the fuck is this guy? Why is his opinion considered meaningful at all? It's like, I don't give a fuck where you rank Kirk Cousins. There are quarterbacks better than Kirk Cousins. There aren't as many quarterbacks better than Kirk Cousins as some people think. And I don't fucking care. You rank him wherever you want. He's a damn good quarterback. He's played damn good football here for 3 years. I expect him to play damn good football in 2021. And I think he's going to be able to put us in a position to win a lot of games, get to the playoffs, and win in the playoffs too. But you need luck, you need the team to perform, you need the coaches to perform, you need luck, you need everything. I mean, but people don't want to hear it. They just want to hear that, you know, if the Vikings win, they want to praise everybody and credit everybody except Kirk. And if they lose, they want to blame it all on Kirk. And that's going to happen this year too. You know it. Whether you're a Kirk fan or a Kirk hater, you know that that's how it's going to go. Because that's how it's gone for 3 years. You know. And maybe this is where it fried their brain, because they're like, hey, we were in the NFC Championship game, and then we signed Kirk Cousins, and he was supposed to be the missing piece. Well, he's not the missing piece when there's other things with the team that have declined, like the defense, obviously, and, you know, revolving door of OCs, offensive line. I mean, you know what's going on, kicking issues, everything. There's a lot of shit that's gone wrong and gone haywire at the Vikings, because it is the Vikings. Things tend to go a little screwy with them historically. But in the last 3 years, Kirk Cousins has not at all been a problem. And I was like, oh, he's not the solution either. Why doesn't he overcome everything? Because nobody does, except maybe Patrick Mahomes when he was the absolute cheat code of all cheat codes. But look at what even happened to him in the Super Bowl. Like, it's a team game. Team game. Nobody wants to admit it's a team game. Except when the Vikings win, then they can say, oh, the team won. Kirk had nothing to do with it. But then when they lose, it's all on Kirk. I wonder how many more of these videos I'm going to make during the season. Because I feel like I've made a bunch. I might make a playlist of all my Kirk videos. It's just, I see this shit and it's endless. And I've grown so tired of. And look, Kirk Cousins is very successful. He's a millionaire. He's a very successful quarterback. He's got a nice family and everything. I'm sure he'll have a very nice post-football life. He doesn't need a schmuck like me defending him on the internet, defending him with YouTube videos. None of that shit. Like, he's fine. I'm sure he's well aware of, that he's good at what he does. But I can't stand these people. Kirk Cousins derangement syndrome people have been a thorn in my side. It's made it hard to be a Vikings fan the last few years. It's hard. It used to be just easy as hell to be a Vikings fan. I certainly wouldn't not be a Vikings fan because of Kirk haters, but it's hard work to like willingly be like of the Vikings fan base because these people are so fucking stupid and they're such assholes to hate on a damn good quarterback, best quarterback we have had, aside from the one Favre year, best quarterback we've had certainly since Culpepper. And I think if Kirk has a similar year this year to his other years, I think you got to put him ahead of Culpepper because Culpepper had some real highs, and you could say he had higher highs because he damn near the MVP one year, but Culpepper also had some lows. He got benched a couple times, so it's like. If we get another big Kirk year, I think you got to put him ahead of that, and that means he's the best quarterback we've had since Tarkinen. Unless you want to make it a case for Tommy Kramer, I don't think you should. But and so we're talking, over 40 years, and this fan base treats him like he's shit. They treat him like he's Christian Ponder. I mean, you could throw the word ungrateful out there. It's like, I mean, maybe, I don't know. It's just a sickness. It's Kirk Cousins derangement syndrome. It's like if we don't win a Super Bowl, fuck everybody, and everybody's trash, and everyone deserves to be just hated on. I don't get it. I just don't like. And I've said this before too. I just wish we could be better as a fan, better and smarter as a fan base. I mean, the media is going to stir up what they stir up. I just wish the fans would just stop being such easily manipulated fools into believing all the BS narratives and the cherry-pick stats about Kirk. It doesn't mean we're going to win a Super Bowl this year. It doesn't mean we may never win a Super Bowl ever. I mean, fuck, we've been around as a franchise for 60 years and haven't won one. So it's like, obviously, there's a lot of Vikings fans who are in the ground right now who never got to see the Vikings win a Super Bowl, and there's gonna be a lot more probably, maybe even myself included. But if that doesn't happen with Kirk, is it because Kirk wasn't good enough? It's a team game, man. Worse quarterbacks than Kirk, way worse quarterbacks than Kirk Cousins have won Super Bowls. And better quarterbacks than Kirk Cousins have not won Super Bowls. It's a team game. No one wants to admit it's a team game. At least not when it comes to Kirk Cousins. I don't get it. I don't get it. I I've said it many, many times. I don't get it. The hatred that this guy has gotten since the day he signed here for less money than he was going to get with the Jets. You want to keep bringing up the fucking contract. For God's sakes, look at all the fucking moves we've made over the last 3 years, and in particular this offseason. Like, you want to keep believing that the fucking contract is a thing. I mean, for God's sakes, it just isn't. It's never been. It never will be. We got the best fucking cap team in the NFL. Always figure it out. There's never been a single contract that has hurt the Vikings in this regime, and there ain't gonna be one. And Kirk has played his ass off, and he gets shit on by this fan base. This fan base does not deserve to have Kirk Cousins. They deserve to go back into the purgatory, or the, pining for Teddy to be a star or something, stuff like that. Like, so as the Kirk turns here, so we're about like 3 weeks out from training camp, or probably not even that much. This will not be the last. This will not be the last time that Kirk Cousins is the object of hatred for a large segment of Vikings media and fans. But just keep fighting the good fight. All the true Scolders, all the true, the Kirk fans, the ones who get it, the ones who understand that he's a damn good quarterback. Not a perfect quarterback. No quarterback is. But he's a damn good quarterback, a damn good player. Played his ass off since he's signed here. Gives us a hell of a chance to get that Super Bowl. It doesn't mean it will happen, but it certainly doesn't mean it can't happen. It takes a lot more than just the quarterback. And the people who get this, keep fighting the good fight. Because there's some real fucking idiots out there that we have to push back against. It's our civic duty.